No. All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful, is it a Monday? It's a Monday. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed, as Bitcoin right now is getting a bounce from none other than the macro 618, baby. We are currently bouncing from the 618 Fibonacci, getting a little bit of a bounce here, and we're currently at our first area of resistance. And if you guys remember yesterday, we were looking at this purple box, saying this box of purple goodness is one of the make it or break it zones for Bitcoin, because if we can bounce from the box, well, we might actually continue in an uptrend. Now, overall, things looking bearish, things looking scarish. We're going to be diving into the price action. If we can get 1,500 likes in the first half hour, we will absolutely be giving away $1,000. I'm going to go ahead and set a timer right now for that. All right. So let's see if we can get it to do our giveaway. We did do our giveaway yesterday, guys. We gave our giveaway yesterday. Let's see if we can get another one today. All right. We got over 1,000 people in the house. Make sure to smash up the likes. Guys, MEXC, best deal on fees. Link in the description. Also, good old BLOFIN offering their good old 10% cash back on everything you deposit. Plus, BLOFIN is currently offering all these juicy prizes that you can win with your 10% cash back. This is actually a legitimately good deal. You can win, depending on your trading volume, all these prizes. Good until April 28th. Also, guys, WEEX is currently the cheapest fees that does not require KYC. Links all this stuff in the pinned comment, which I don't think is pinned today, but it's in the description for sure. Got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to it's at SnowBHVR. He says, yo chat. Shout out to Dave Kevin. He says 400x is crazy. Shout out to Rimo Trades. Shout out to Jar Jar. What is this box? HT imbalance or something? It's just the golden pocket, bro. Shout out to Splash Bar Films. Shout out to Buy Dips Fade Rips. Never was a crime to dumpster dive. Now Trash Panda do 3 to life. Are you talking about someone in the chat? Shout out to Clay the Great. Shout out to my white women, but I like some purple box too. Shout out to Frosty SA. Shout out to One Hype Soul. Yes, we need to take the long now. I know I did. Shout out to 3 Digit. Bless you too, brother. Shout out to Kane Hurst. Christ is king. Let's pump it, baby. Shout out to Albert. Shout out to Mining Quest. Shout out to Pope J Dollar. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. We got double music. Huh. Really? I don't know. Let me know. Music sounds good to me. I should run 10 kilometers per hour the moment we hit 85K. Do you think we're going to hit 85K today? Are we going to hit 85K today? Hey. Hey. All right. Perhaps. All right, so let's talk about what's happening right now. So, the Bitcoin price yesterday, last night, did come down and pierce through our Fibonacci 618. In fact, it didn't really pierce through. It just tapped it, like, to the exact nanosecond. Let's go ahead and pull the fib as accurately as possible here. And did we tap it? Because from my understanding, we have officially tapped it, but we're going to find out for certain here live on YouTube, because I thought we absolutely tapped it. So let's move this over now. What a cool trick. And now let's zoom in. Oh man, breaking news. We have front run the golden pocket, but here's what we did bounce from. We actually did bounce from a naked daily point of control, okay? We did bounce from a naked daily point of control, and as we came down to the level, what did we see? We saw something quite interesting. I'm going to look at our 1 hour time frame here. I want you to look at the 1 hour market Cipher B here, because it looks just like the way Sam Bankman-Fried's man boobs look. Very big on the left. Why? We don't know. There's a rumor out there that he would actually inject mayonnaise into the left aoria nipple, right in that one nipple hole, right? Because that's how nipples work, right? They have one hole that the milk comes out. This is what I always believed in until I actually had children and saw breastfeeding up close. It's like a shower head or something. I don't know. But anyway, the rumor is he would take a needle and stick it up like you're blowing air into a tire. That one hole in the middle of the nip, fill it with mayonnaise. The right side, no mayonnaise, all right? He would use calorie-free condiments on the right, like mustard. Now the momentum's getting higher as the price is getting lower. This is called a bullish divergence. We take it, we bake it, we paste it. Oh, hang on, we got to zoom out a little bit. We take it, we bake it, we paste it onto market Cipher B. We can see the money flow getting higher, the momentum getting higher over time. Very, very bullish. And we've gotten a move to the upside. Now, when we go to the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? We also see, as the price is getting lower, our momentum waves are indeed getting higher. And not only that, the money flow is getting higher. And this yellow oscillator is getting higher now over time. So it's looking a little bit, I don't know, bullish, man, right? Bouncing from that key zone of support. All right, so we are getting a little bit of a bounce, and we're coming up to none other than this local liquidity grab here, right? So what's happening right now on the 4-hour time frame is we are coming back to test a few key zones. First of all, we have this low that we made right over here, right? Then we made the second low, then we flipped it into resistance. So what we're doing right now is we're attempting to actually change market structure on our 4-hour time frame, something which has been bearish since last week, last Tuesday, okay? So if we can close a 4-hour candle above $83,000, that actually is a first local sign of strength, okay? But we are coming up into this area, and Bitcoin is struggling a little bit at resistance. We're going to find out, are we going to see a rejection? Like every single time in high school you tried to ask out a girl, you saw that rejection. You saw the look in her eyes as she looked the other way. Jason, you're disgusting. You disgust me. Get out of here. All right? I'm not into you. And you're just stuck there like, why? I just longed. But I just longed high leverage. But no stop loss. 6 Juanita. But yeah, you know, she rejects you. So we're looking to see right now, are we going to get that rejection or are we going to get acceptance? All right? Now, this is a very crucial area simply because we understand the fact that when we look at this rise, right, when we look at this whole volume profile right here, we are basically trading, right, from the high of this from this volume range to the low. So ever since basically the 25th of February, the last month, the market has determined this to be the fair value zone for Bitcoin, right? This blue line is considered expensive Bitcoin. This blue line is considered cheap Bitcoin. We've come down to that cheap Bitcoin zone. We're seeing a bounce, and now we're coming to that middle range, that high volume node, where really we need to make a decision. Are we going to hold and then come back up to 88,000 plus? Or are we going to, like I said, reject, even though we just longed, high leverage, whole account? All right. But we'll have to wait and see. We will really have to wait and see. And in my opinion, this was the place to be taken along. Maybe it could have got in after New York opened when we came down on this wick here. All right, that was an acceptable long entry as well. But right now, in my opinion, this is not a real time to be taken along. If we go to the 1-hour time frame, I would say this. If I was looking for a long right now, I would be pulling my volume right here. I would be pulling my fib from the low to the high. And I would say I don't really see any good confluences here, to be honest with you. That's what I would say. I don't really see any good confluences, honestly, to be looking for a long right now. And to be totally frank, I would actually prefer a dip down lower. And to be totally frank with you, to use that term, frank, it's a baby boomer term, all right? My parents would use that. Actually, I even think the greatest generation used it as well and passed it on to the baby boomers. So shout out to everyone here who was born in the 20s. And shout out to everyone here who was born in the 50s. All right, those are the two generations I'm talking about. But most of the time, when you have a high level 618 like this, golden pocket retracement, and you front run it like that, most of the time, you're going to come back and make a lower low. Most of the time. Sometimes you actually do front run it and everybody's on the sidelines. But most of the time, it does mean we come back to take that low again. All right, I'm just throwing that out there. And the other thing I don't really like about this low here is the fact that we formed, at least on Bitget, a perfect double bottom right here. You can see we formed a perfect double bottom. And also, like, a lot of people look at this and say that's bullish, a double bottom. What would be really nice is if this one actually came a bit lower here, right? So when you have these two areas where the people who longed this are not stopped out, this is actually just building liquidity to be taken to the downside before another push to the upside, okay? So we are seeing some bullish things here. We are seeing Bitcoin struggling right now to close a 4-hour candle above the previous high. If we can close a 4-hour candle above, let's say $84,000, in my opinion, that opens up the doorway to higher prices, potentially up to $88,000. I would say up to $90,000. It opens up the doorway to $90,000, and here's why. We're really looking at two ranges right now. We're looking at the macro range, the Trump range, the Trump wins the election range, going all the way back to essentially November 11th, right? And then we're looking at the range that we start to form after the breakdown of the Donald Trump wins the election range. If we can now, after forming a nice low here and making our first high, if this can be our higher low, which we did form with bullish divergences, then we are actually looking to get a move back up to the $90,000 value area low of this macro range, right? So the bullish scenario right now, just on the high time frame, is this. This is a significant bottom, all right? The long trade setup that was given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, right? Still in the trade, by the way, from the setup given in advance. Okay, this was a key area of support here on the chart. So if this is a key bottom, then we have now started to form a bounce and a retrace. And if this is a retrace to the golden pocket, and this area is going to be a higher low from the initial bounce, then we would expect a higher high to come in, which would be at approximately the $90,000 value area low of this range, right? So this is why I would be shooting for that target. And if I was in a long trade from the lows that we made this morning, I would definitely have locked in a take profit one by now, because you have to think to yourself, let's say you are long from the bottom because you are waiting for this level. Right now, as it stands, you've got yourself a 3-to-1 risk reward trade here, right? You've already potentially had more profit than what you risked on the trade. And that's assuming you put your stop below the 0.65. If you put your stop below the wick, we're talking 5 times more profits than you initially risked. This is a time to be locking in a take profit one. This is a time to be taking the risk off the table at least, right? If you're gonna move your stop loss to entry and guarantee a win, or keep your stop loss below the low to guarantee that you're not really gonna take a loss, this is the time to be doing that. Not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, just a guy on YouTube who happens to lick plungers. You definitely don't want to listen to a guy like that licking the dang plunger. All right? Now, of course, we do have to acknowledge the fact that we do have a CME gap above us. All right, let's go ahead and put on our CME gap here. Because the Friday Bitcoin candle, the CME futures market did close, which I can't really... I'm having troubles with this indicator here. I'm having some indicator troubles, but hang on. We'll go to the futures market. You can see here, if we go to the daily chart, that Friday oh! Never mind, guys, we filled the gap. We filled the gap. We didn't come up to that price on Bitget, but we actually did fill the gap. So wow. This actually is going to change my bias here. Wow. So we filled the gap to the dollar, and we are currently seeing a rejection from the gap. This is key, man. This is not a good look for Bitcoin right now. Rejecting from that gap with a three bearish candles right here. Let's go to our 4-hour time frame. We have 18 minutes before this candle closes with a wick like that. Yeah, this is This is interesting stuff here. Oh, man. And it's even the local Fibonacci golden pocket. Whew. Okay, so I was unaware that we actually filled this gap, guys. I was waiting for the Bitget chart to come up a little bit higher. All right, because that gap was at 84,000. Bitget never hit 84,000. Hit 83,866.2. All right, so we're currently rejecting from that CME gap. Liquidity grab from here. Let's take a look at market Cipher B now. All right, now our 4-hour time frame. Honestly, it looks like there's more upside. Our 1-hour time frame. Here's how we're looking. The 1 hour right now looks like we do need to cool off a bit. We're printing a top. Looks like within the next 20 minutes or so, we could even print and maybe even confirm a red dot here. If that happens, I would expect more downside. Let's go to our 24-minute. Okay, the 24-minute has confirmed a red dot with a... I don't know. I don't know. Is this a bearish divergence or not? It looks like it's not a divergence. It looks like it's literally just a double top on the oscillator, which really is not the strongest look for Bitcoin. I would expect one of two things. I would expect a bit more of a pullback here, where maybe we back test again this area. But what I would prefer, what I would really prefer, is just to come and actually make another lower low. The reason I would prefer that is because I don't like the way we made this bottom. I don't like how we front ran that 618. I don't like how we made a double bottom here. It just looks to me like it's some unfinished business down there. Like it's some unfinished business. The market makers, they want to trap some longs on Monday. Let's check out the order flow and see how that actually played out here. Now, ExoCharts has been a bit laggy for me today, guys. It's been a bit laggy for me today. All right. Man, this is super laggy. I don't even know if I'll be able to use this. All right. Yeah. So we had a few longs at the top. They all closed out. We had a few shorts short at the top, and a lot of them are still open. So locally right here, I'd say there's more shorts open than longs. We got some bears in control right now locally here. So let's see what happens as New York is back from lunch. Let's see what happens from here. Okay, this is our sideways range, I'd say. For right now, this is our sideways range. Well, right now. And we will see what's going to happen here. All right, let's see who we got in the chat, guys. Make sure to smash up the likes. If everyone likes the video in the next 3 minutes, we can give away $1,000. All right, we did give away $1,000 yesterday. Got to give a major shout out to Jack BA. April Fool's incoming. Shout out to Crypto Sir. 82K, add to your trade. You're looking to come down to 82K, our support resistance flip, and add to your long trade. Yeah, like I said, I would be more interested in that if these lows looked nicer. You know? Trump is going to make prices go down by starting a Great Depression. Okay. Shout out to Tales of Money. He says, yo, Jason. SPX coin broke down, to somebody. Shout out to Bullish on Parade. Monthly candle closes might be pretty good. Yeah, so tonight we do have our monthly candle close. And you think it's going to be pretty good? Let's check it out. Man, I don't know. I don't know if it closes in the green. Maybe that could look kind of nice. But a doji to me is pretty neutral. Pretty neutral candle pattern right here. Let's come back to our 1 hour. We're getting that move down. Shout out to Arturs. What's going on, man? Shout out to Avi Yoshi. What's going on, Avi Yoshi? Shout out to Enslaved Manga. Keep up the work, everyone. All right. One Hype Soul says we're hitting 86K. It would be nice. That is a nice level of resistance, 86K. Shout out to Splash Fire. He says 80,700 is a weak level. I think we'll take it. Yeah. Looking to dip down a little bit lower, personally, myself, into the 80s. Maybe the high 70s. That's personally what I am looking for. We got to give a major shout out to Ru Drakash, who says, XRP analysis, can take any short trade there. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go ahead and take a look at XRP. All right, we're going to start on our daily time frame here. So XRP is continuing to trade in this trend line that can be taken all the way back to January. And you know what's quite interesting about this is the fact that we are, in general, holding support right here. All right, a descending triangle. And I know you're looking for short trades, but really, I mean, when I see something like this, my first thought is, before I look for a short trade, I would almost be looking for a long trade. Like, I would be looking for a dip down and then a retracement. And if we're going to continue bearishly, something like this, right? I would be looking for that bounce first. And if we do get a bounce from there, that could give us like a 30-40% move to the upside before another move to the downside. So here's the deal right now with XRP. I mean, could I say that I would take a short here? We're at the value area low of the range, right? We're at support on the daily time frame. It doesn't look like a good place to enter into like a swing short trade, in my opinion. Right? It's just not the way I like to trade. Let's see. I mean, we're rejecting from the local 618. The way I like to trade, I can't even think about taking a short on XRP here. All right? Even if I'm bearish, I need to wait for some kind of a setup here. All right? So, for me, a short setup would have to happen in the following way. Like, we actually break down. We get a bounce from taking the liquidity here, coming into this support resistance flip. And once we get that, then I would be very interested in looking for short trades from some of these resistances here. Like the point of control of the range right here. Trend line, point of control, hypothetical golden pocket. That's where I would be interested in shorting XRP. We need some kind of relief rally because, in my opinion, we're squeezing together, so there's less and less volatility. We're at support, so it's never a good place to be taking a short trade. I would want to wait until we get some kind of bearish sign, like a breakdown, and then look to short a back test. That's how I would approach XRP if I was looking to short XRP, right? This is how I would approach it. Because this at least gives me a place to sell high, right? We want to buy low and sell high. If I'm going to short here, objectively speaking, doesn't mean we can't come down, but if you get into the habit of shorting support, and this has been literally support since December, okay? So we're talking like 4 months it's been support. If you get into the habit of shorting support, where since December we've gotten some kind of a bounce from that level, it's not a good habit to get into, right? So XRP, we definitely have a little bit of bear div at the top here on the daily. We've got a little bit of bull div forming here on our daily, but money flow is pretty flat, looking pretty crap. So for me, I would say my next trade on XRP would have to be looking for a long from this zone between $1.63 and $1.77, because it would be nice to take the liquidity from here and get a bounce from this area of support. And so I would basically be looking, if we lose this and then we get like a strong daily close above it, you know, for me, I would be looking for a back test, a move back up to at least $2, potentially a move back up to $2.50 at the Fibonacci golden pocket, and then another move to the downside to come back down to our next area of support, which would be right here. And this just looks nice because, you know, it's just in the trend, right? This is in the trend. And if we get a full-on Bart Simpson pattern, you know, potentially coming all the way back down to fill all this and come back down to 75 cents, this would be a really nice entry. I find it a little bit unlikely that from this point we will come down that low. I feel like we're going to need some kind of relief. And even if, like, and again, I'm just analyzing the chart here. I'm pretty neutral about like whether or not the bull market's over. I'm pretty neutral about that for now. But let's assume, for example, that this is all we get, right? Let's just assume that. It's very unlikely that we're going to come just straight down. We need some kind of bounce. We need some kind of relief in order for the bears to like regather themselves to push us down lower, right? So that's my opinion on it. But thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to Alejandro Gonzalez. He says, Jason, I longed ETH from 1780, 20x, liquidation is 1620. What do I think? Well, I think that you should have had a plan going into your trade, man. I think you should have had a clearly defined stop loss and a take profit. And that should have been part of your plan, because right now, from the information you're giving me, I think that you're gambling, and I think that you're going to get wrecked, and I think you're probably not going to be in this for the long term. That's what I think. But we can take a look at the chart. Okay? Because I hope that you entered that trade with a plan, and I hope that you've already taken some profits, man. Right? If you're in a 20x trade from 1780, I hope you had a plan for that trade, man. I really hope you did. So the good thing is you're in profit. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Let's zoom in. That was a really nice entry, by the way. You pretty much longed the exact bottom. If you're not taking profits here, man, I mean, some kind of a profit, I would question why. Even right now, assuming that your stop loss is below the low, we're at a perfect 3-to-1 risk reward. If you got in a little bit later on that retest, right now you are at a 6-to-1 risk reward. All right, meaning you potentially right now could take half the trade out and make 3% on your trading account, have a completely risk-free trade guaranteed winner, and then let this thing either ride or get stopped out in profit. Right? So you right now have the potential to guarantee you've made money on the trade with a perfect entry. And let's say we just pump up from here, and we actually do come all the way back up to this $2,000 very important level on ETH. Then you're up another 14%. Okay, so you made 3% guaranteed, and then if we come up to the next resistance, you're up 14%. All right, because that is just our support resistance flip there. So I think you should put yourself in a win-win situation. That's what I really think. I don't think if your liquidation is at 16 something that you should even contemplate letting the price come down there while you're holding a trade that right now is up, assuming you're risking 1%, is up right now 6% on your total trading account. I can't even imagine not taking something off the table to at least guarantee you're not going to lose anything. But if you're up 6-to-1, I would at least guarantee a win on that one, man. That's what I think. And thank you so much for the super chat. But here's what's most important when it comes to trading with leverage. You need to have these things planned out in advance. Like your plan needs to include a win and a loss, right? Like if this is your plan here, okay, let's just say this is your plan. You need to say, okay, this is my plan. Let's say at the trend line, I'm going to take out half the position, move my stop to entry. Then I'm going to take out another half of what's left up here. And this is part of your plan. And also part of your plan is I will have my stop loss here. So I'm going to risk, let's say you have $1,000. You're like, I'm risking $10. All right. I'm looking to make $30 on my take profit one. I'm sorry, $15 on my take profit. No, $30. Looking to make $30 on my take profit one. I'm risking 10. My take profit one's going to lock in $30, and then my take profit two, let's say, you know, you're going to lock in another like $14 or something, right? So you're looking to make $45 on your two take profits while you're risking $10, and you still have a little bit of the runner left. This is how you should set up every single trade. You need to plan that stuff in advance, because if not, and you're wondering, man, what do you think I should do? The truth is, no one can give you that answer. You can't even give you that answer, because no one can see the future. So you need to have things in place so that you don't have to wonder what to do in the middle of an open position. You know, it's very, very, very important. At least for me, that was a big game changer in my own personal trading. Looks like we're going to confirm the 1 hour red dot here. once I realized that I don't know what the heck is going to happen here, so I need to make sure I have a plan no matter what happens. It's such a comforting feeling, honestly. It's such a comforting feeling to enter every single trade with a planned loss scenario and a planned win scenario. It gives so much comfort to your overall trading. And in my opinion, people who trade without that are gambling. Like straight up. You're straight up gambling. You know? It's like you get into a car. You just start driving, and halfway through you're like, hey, where do you think I should go? You call up your friends. Hey man, like I've been driving for like 3 hours. Where do you think I should go? Like I'm about to run out of gas in like 30 minutes. What would you do? They're like, well, where are you? I don't know, but I'm about to run out of gas in 30 minutes. What do you think, man? Should I turn around? Well, how far are you from home? Well, I don't know. You know? Shout out to my man with the super chat. Shout out to the super chat. We got a super chat in the house. Hedge is one answer. You could hedge. Hedging is only good, honestly, if you have a plan for hedging. Because if not, that's also a quick way to lose money on both sides. I'm going to tell you that. Adriano Miller is feeling bullish today. Yeah, if I was in that exact trade, I would take a profit. All right, well, we were looking at ETH here. I would take a P1, take a profit one, and then let this thing ride, man. If you're actually in that position, let's take a look at ETH on the daily here. So ETH, same place as Bitcoin, which is we made this low, a little bit in no man's land, and now we're making a slightly higher low, potentially a trigger wave on the daily. Let's check out our 4 hour here. We do have some bull divs on the 4 hour, but money flow looks questionable. Check out our 1 hour. 1 hour looks really nice at the low. So ETH is looking the same as Bitcoin, where either this is going to give us a little pullback and then we make a higher low with a rounded bottom, or we just go for the liquidity. We go for the weekend liquidity, right? That weekend liquidity. So whatever you're doing right now, I would be cautious because we're coming out of a weekend. We're getting a bounce. Things are looking questionable. We're not really changing market structure for ETH or for Bitcoin. I mean, technically speaking, there's really not even a local sign of strength until we at least make a higher high here. So if we had closed a few hourlies above this, then I'd be much more interested in a back test. Okay. All right, we got another super chat in the house. Shout out to Lost Liberty. Can you check Telcoin? Yeah, we'll check Telcoin. I guess it's just Tel. Ooh. All right. So last time we looked at Telcoin, we were saying the only way I would really long this area is if we actually flip the green box into support. Obviously, that didn't happen, right? So that's why it's so important to take trades with signs of strength like that. But right now, we actually are seeing this, right? A swing failure pattern of that low, potential bull dip on the daily. This is kind of what we were looking at to happen with XRP. The thing right now is we are back testing value area low. All right. So so far right now, and this 4-hour candle, it's a very nice looking 4-hour candle, but so far we don't really have any sign of strength here. I'd say the probabilities are still for more downside, because we haven't even reclaimed value area low of the range. What would get me interested here in looking for a long, I mean, obviously you could have taken a long from this low here, but I'd say the boat's been missed, right? This is just the way I trade, but if we're already up from the level, 16%, I would be hesitant to long into resistance. What would get me in a long now, honestly, would have to be some kind of reclaim of market structure and then a back test, right? That's what I would really kind of want to see. I would want to see us take out these highs here and then look for the back test. I'd be pulling my fib and looking for a bounce from the golden pocket 786. This would allow us to get in. I know it's pretty much the same entry as we have right now, but this would allow us to get in after a little bit more confirmation of, yeah, we're probably going to go up higher, right? We could have a tighter stop and a nicer risk-reward ratio. Well, I guess it's the same, similar risk-reward, because right now you'd have to put your stop under here. It's still 3.5 to 1. I would rather wait for something like that, to be honest with you. That's just my own personal trading style, right? So right now this is very interesting. This has me interested. I would keep an eye on this chart. I would keep an eye on these highs, right? Because we'd be looking for basically the inverted head and shoulders to form here. And after a change of structure locally there. Shout out to Crypto Plumber, by the way. God bless you, Crypto Plumber. Crypto Plumber says, best analogy on trading with a plan I've heard in a long time. Well, God bless you, bro. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate the super chat. Man, we have 1,700 people in the house. Only 800 likes. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. All right. Major shout out to Gerda Pham. Do you think me risking $3 to $10 for 100 to 1,000 is a gamble? No, I don't think so. I think that's great. I think that's absolutely amazing, man. You're risking $10 for a $1,000 win. Even if you're risking $10 for a $100 win, that's absolutely not a gamble. That's a great risk to reward ratio right there. That's the kind of stuff you want to be doing, right? It's all about the risk to reward ratios, the ratio. All right. All right, guys, I have to head out, okay? Please, if you're a praying person, please pray for my family, all right? I've got to head out. I love you guys. God bless you. In Jesus' name, peace.